Hi everyone, welcome to lecture number 9 in Google Cloud Platform series. In the last video, we did discuss about how we can create VPC network, how we can create subnets, and we also have created few virtual machines and put in the firewall rules to allow the SSH and ICMP ping and other stuff. So that was the basic things about VPC firewall or VPC network in GCP as such. So today we gonna go on to a next level, which is mostly used in the industry. Mostly we create tags for assigning firewall rules in the industry as such, because that's the easy way of creating firewall rules, and we can assign those tags to the VM instances on. So what we're gonna do is, let me just open the paint and let me just write it down so that we know what we're gonna do. So first, again, we're gonna create a VPC network. And then we're gonna create a subnet. Let's take in US Central, for example. Then we are going to create 2 VMs, virtual machines. And then we will try to SSH the VMs, and it will not work because we will not be having any firewall rules assigned at that moment. Then we will create firewall rule using tags. We can use a tag like allow SSH something, and then we will assign that tag on the VMs, and then SSH should work. Now what we will do, this is like a allow or ingress rule, right? We can also create a outbound rule to block the outbound traffic, which is VM cannot ping google.com, for example. It will be deny outbound rule. So let's see in the action, just writing it down so that we remember. So let me go back to the console and let's first create a VPC network as such. I go over here, click on create VPC network. I'll just give a name, custom VPC demo. Subnet creation mode, which we have already discussed. If you select automatic, it will create automatically a subnet in each region, like whatever regions you have in GCP, right? In every region you see a subnet will be automatically created. But we don't want to use this. We want to create our own subnet as such. So we'll take the custom and I'll just click on add subnet. I'll create this subnet in US Central region. It will be in US, so US Central 1. And over here I can give like 10.0.0.0/28. /28 means 32 minus 28. It's like 4, then 2 to the power 4 is 16. So we can have 16 IP addresses as such in this range. If you want more, you can write 24 or whatever, but I'm just taking 28. I don't want to waste the IP addresses for now. So /28 is fine. I am keeping all this thing as default. Let me click on done. So my subnet in US Central is created, guys. So currently I'm not using the default firewall rules because we are creating the custom, and in the industry you will see we have custom firewall rules being created. No one usually uses these default because these are broad in access as such. So keeping all the things default, let's hit on create, and now let's see the next step. VPC network is created. Create 2 VMs. Let's go to compute engine. Let me open this in a new tab. So if you see, our custom VPC network is getting created. Let's hit on refresh to see if it is done or not. Okay, still it's in creating mode. We're gonna use this VPC network to create our instances. So let's wait for a moment. So this VPC network currently don't have any firewall rules. You see it's 0. Yeah. Over here it's 0. So it's without firewall rule as such. So let's go to VM instance. Let's hit on create instance. Instance 1, demo. And if you remember, we have created this subnet in US Central 1. We have created this in US Central 1. So we will take the region as US Central 1 itself. Otherwise, it will not select the subnet. So zone is, anything is fine, not an issue. Machine configuration, currently it's E2. If I select it to N2, more powerful machine, then it will also change over here. Just notice. I just clicked on N2 and it is showing like 2 vCPU, 8 GB of memory. If I click on E2, it is 4 GB of memory. Let's go with N2, not an issue. Let's keep all these options as default. And if you want to change the boot disk, you can change it from here. If you want CentOS or anything like that, I'm keeping it for the moment Debian. If you want to even increase the size of the disk, you can do it from over here. Service account, I'm keeping it all default. What I'll be doing over here is, if I go to networking, I'll be using this network tags as such. So if you can see the description, assign network tags to apply firewall rules to specific VM. Yeah. So it will make use of this option once we create a firewall rule. And for the time being, if you see, by default, it has taken the default VPC which was created by Google itself, but we don't want to use that. You want to use our custom VPC. You can click over here and you see it has automatically taken this US Central subnet. So let's go down. Let's keep all default. Okay, that's fine. And let's hit on create. And now we have created a VM, but we have to create another one. Let's click on create instance. Let's give instance 2 -demo. Let's create this again in US Central. Let's take N2 and let's go down and go to networking and select our VPC network. And let's hit on create. So now if we come to our VPC, if you see, we don't have any firewall rules as such. Yeah. And now what we will do, in the last video, we did SSH from here, right? Let's make use of Cloud Shell for this video. So let me click on Cloud Shell over here. Yeah. Activate Cloud Shell. So you see our instances are created. That's good. Both the instances are up. So what is happening? Let me clear. Okay, so both the VMs are up now. You see its instances is running. And let's use the Cloud Shell let's say suppose I don't know how we can SSH the VM using Cloud Shell, right? You just come to Google SSH gcloud command. Yeah, you don't have to remember all the commands. Always Google can help you out. If you go down to SSH into example instance, this is the instance name in a zone like this. In our case, our instance name is instance-1 demo and instance-2 demo something, and we have also created an ES Central one. So this is the command, gcloud compute SSH. You have to put the instance name over here, and over here -- zone equals to whatever zone you have selected. So let's run this command, gcloud compute SSH. We have to copy the instance name, which is, for example, like this. Okay, yeah. And it was -- zone equals to US Central 1C. Let's hit the enter, and we should not be able to SSH into it because currently we haven't assigned any firewall rule which allows the incoming traffic to my VMs or which allows the SSH traffic to come in. It may take some sweet time, but yeah, we have to just wait for it. Also, we can try to SSH the second instance from here so that we are covering both, one from Cloud Shell and one from the console. So this is VM or instance 1 and this is instance 2. It should give us an error. Let's click on authorize. I don't know why it is taking that long, because just to show an error, but yeah, we can just wait. If it is taking time, that means it's an indication something is wrong, or yeah, it will not work, something like that. Always remember. Come on, it should give us an error, but we have to wait. We are trying to access both the instance and we have assigned the custom VPC network, and currently we haven't assigned any network tags or firewall rule. If you see, it is blank over here, and we are trying to SSH the machine. Okay, that's good. So it has given an error. gcloud compute instance. Okay, yeah. So you see, this is the error. So this is the error. Connect to host on port 22, connection timeout. So it says to check for possible causes of SSH connectivity issues and get recommendation. Yeah, so it clearly indicates that it is not working. And let's wait for this also to throw an error. Yeah, it has thrown the error, I guess. Yeah. VM, please ensure that VM has a firewall rule that allows TCP ingress traffic from this on port 22. Okay, guys, so let's try to create a firewall rule now, or let's try to create a firewall rule using a network tag as such. Okay. So if I come over here to my VPC network or to my custom VPC which I have created, go to firewalls. If I click on add firewall rules, if I just say allow SSH or incoming traffic, for example. Yeah. Let's keep the logs off. Let's take our custom VPC. It's already there. Priority, you can define anything from 0 to 65,535, something like that. Lower the number, higher the priority. So 1000 is fine. Direction of traffic, ingress applied to incoming traffic, egress applied to outbound traffic. So in our case, it should be ingress because we are trying to access or SSH the VM. Action on match, when traffic matches your parameter, you can allow or deny. So we are allowing the traffic. Yeah, in the last video, we have selected all instances in the network, if I remember correctly. And this time we wanted to make use of the network tags or the tags to create the firewall rule. So let's give a tag name called SSH-allow. And just remember this tag because we have to assign this tag to the VM. So VMs are our target because we'll be allowing ingress rule to them. And from where the traffic will be coming, for example, traffic will be coming from the internet. So it should be 0.0.0.0/0 from anywhere in the world. Yeah. Traffic is only allowed from the source within this IP range. So, and what we wanted to do, if you want to allow everything, which is not a best practice, you can select that. But in our case, we are trying to be secured and we are just trying to allow specific ports and protocols. So just click on TCP and allow 22. And this is the tag SSH-allow. Let me click on create. So we have created a firewall rule using a tag which allows the SSH traffic as such. So it says successfully created. So this is our firewall rule which says allow SSH incoming traffic. And yeah, this says it's using a tag and ports and protocol and action is allowed. So let's go to the VM instance now and we'll assign only to VM instance 1 for the moment just to see without tag whether we can access VM2 or not later on. So as I mentioned, we need to go to networking and then the network tag. And the tag which we have, if you read through this, assign network tags to apply firewall rules to specific VM instances. And what tag we have used or created is SSH-allow. Yeah. So I'll just assign this tag and just click on save. And let's go to our Cloud Shell again. And let's see whether our tag is applied or not. So we can see over here, it says network tag is allowed only to instance 1. If I go over here and run my Cloud Shell, and if I again put that command gcloud compute SSH instance name and the zone, it should give us a connection this time. So you see we are in this instance now, yeah, which is our instance 1. So that means that tagged work. And let's see if you're able to ping the internet or ping www.google.com. And we should be able to, because outbound traffic, egress traffic is allowed. And let's try to access VM2. VM2, we should get the same error because we haven't assigned that tag to VM2. Yeah. So if we use the same command and just gcloud, let me clear. If we use the same command gcloud compute SSH and the instance name, and if we enter this zone, and let's try to return enter. It should give us an error. I know it should give an error. Okay, this was fast. What it says, unrecognized argument. Oops, because we are in this instance. Let me do one thing. Let me get out of this instance. So I've just mentioned as exit and I'm out now, and let's try to run this command, and our instance name is instance. Over here I'm changing instance 2, and it should give an error. I know, that's fine, and it will take own sweet time. So we can just keep this window as is, but you have seen once we assign the tag to instance 1, we were able to access this. And if we go again to this instance 1 and try, and we have also seen like we were able to ping www.google.com from this instance 1, and we want to block that outbound traffic from this VM. So how we can do that? So let's also create a firewall rule for the same. So we are in the instance 1, and you see ping www.google.com. We should be able to ping. Yeah, and we wanted to block this now. So how we can do that? And let's see. Okay, this is VM instance 2. It will not be allowing the SSH, and we can also assign that tag to VM2, and then SSH should work. So let's create a firewall rule. Let's go to our VPC, which will block the outbound traffic. Let's go to this VPC. Let's go to firewalls, add a firewall rule, block outbound. Let's give this name. Priority is 1000. This time it should be egress, because traffic will be going out from our VM, and we'll want it to deny the traffic. And if you want, you can even use target tags, but let's use all instances in the network. It will apply to all the VMs as such. And destination would be internet. It would be 0.0.0.0.0/0, which is internet. And we wanted to deny, we wanted to deny all outbound as such. So let's create a firewall rule. And you see immediately this ping should stop working. Once the firewall rule is created, it is still in creating mode. Once it is created successfully, our ping should stop. So firewall rule is created. And let's see, our ping should stop as such. So let me stop it like this and try to ping google.com again. You see, this time it will not work. This time it will not work because we have blocked the outbound traffic as such. It will not work, I know. So in this video, we have seen how we can create an ingress rule with using tag, and how we can create an egress rule, and how we can block the outbound traffic as such. So I hope, guys, this was informative. Thanks for watching, and let me know your queries in the comment section. Feel free to reach out to me, and thank you so much.